famous in burlesque. I've seen you perform burlesque, and most recently in The Time Traveller's Wife in the West End. What drew you to ambitious and charming and never been in love before hula?
I actually also saw it on Broadway when I was about 16. I went on a college trip to Broadway and I got to do a workshop. I'm not sure I even told you this. I did a workshop with the cast. I got to be one of the grannies. Yeah,
wow.
yeah. And then when I got to drama school, I took Ula's song into my rep class, and I always loved the show. And I didn't think I'd ever get the chance. So when the Chocolate Factory rang me, I guess, my ambition was to bring all of my past work in cabaret and burlesque to this role with my acting work as well. And I mean, she's just such an amazing role. And the song Flaunt It is one of the greatest musical theatre songs ever written. So very thrilled.
Trevor,
Yes.
Is this your West End stage debut?
Officially my first musical in the West End, yes.
But please tell everyone what happens in your day job.
Well, I have been a very well-known drag queen for a long time. So I moved over here after I did a show called Queen of the Universe on Paramount Plus. And I came over here and just wanted to see what was happening. I was in the original cast of Priscilla, Queen of the Desert in Australia, and I've actually done the producers before in Australia, but I was his role. And I think as you get older, you just graduate up. But I got to see the producers when I was 21. And I got to see Nathan Lane and Matthew Broderick do it originally. It was absolutely brilliant. I fell in love with it, bought the cast recording and listened to it on repeat, and then saw it in Australia, and then did it in Australia, and then when it came up here, I was like, how can I get into this production? And it all happened, and I'm just absolutely thrilled. I love this show. I love this character. I just think it's genius, the whole thing, and the whole experience of working here in London's just been amazing. So I'm having a blast.
We hope you'll be here for a very long time doing this.
Me too.
Marc Antolin, you've done many musicals and quite a lot of physical work with Knee High and companies like that. How does this experience feel for you?
Yeah, I mean, it's amazing. It's like to reinvent the role as well, you know, because I saw Lee Evans do it in Drury Lane, and I was a massive fan of his comedy stuff when I was growing up, and he was always very physical and sweating. I'm also very sweaty in this. And it's just been amazing to sort of learn sort of clowning through Knee High and sort of doing shows through them, and then to be able to sort of physicalise this role and imagine it in this sort of new version, and you know, especially with Lauren and MJ and the dance team as well, because I had a bit of a background in dance, to be able to push that with the character and sort of explore his dream of wanting to be a theatre producer that puts on amazing sort of MGM style musicals, rather than sort of being a producer in the way that Max sort of has these traits of being a producer. And not that you didn't put on amazing shows, but but sort of explore his love of musical theatre and MGM movies growing up, and to be able to sort of put that on stage, it's been really exciting.
And you grew up in Wales?
I did grow up in Wales, yeah.
How do you find doing an American accent? Quite easy?
Or
challenging?
I think we grew up watching sort of lots of American TV shows, The Simpsons, sort of American movies and stuff. So, and I think in musicals we do a lot of American accents. So, and I've sort of had to use it a lot in shows. And also in the writing, the way that the script is written, it's so American, isn't it? And it sort of helps you with the rhythms of the jokes as well, because the script is so tight.
No, I wanted to ask you. I'm sorry, I cut you off.
No, that's all right. That was getting boring.
Because Matthew Broderick, who created the role on stage, not known as a great tap dancer, many other things. Yes. And I can't imagine Lee Evans is a great tap dancer. It must be lovely for you as a choreographer to have tap skills.
It's lovely on two levels. It's what's lovely about our Leo is that it's different. So we've never seen a Leo really dance, and So we really leaned into it, and there's all these little Easter eggs in the show about all these different shows. You'll see when you see it, but if you're a musical theater fan, you'll go, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. And we got to put so many little Easter eggs in and really see Leo, his fantasy really actually not come to life around him, but that you make it happen.
Yeah, it was like a King and I section in the bit you just saw. I don't know if you noticed that. But yeah, that was
And chorus line.
Yes.
Yeah,
Start
I
the
saw
audition.
Andy Nyman, I last saw you, well, I saw you in Hello Dolly, being brilliant. Before that, I saw you as Teddy in Fiddler on the Roof. I'm interested to know how Max compares to the role of Teddy. What have you brought into this from Fiddler on the Roof and playing that great, big, important role?
Well, the joy of it, I think, is that I did think about this quite a lot actually, and I thought that I sort of think that Max is almost Tevye's grandson.
Mm-hmm.
I think that had Tevye and his family got away and fled, a bit
Got to
like
New York.
many of those Jewish immigrants who got to New York, you're a hop, skip and a jump away really from one of Tevye's kids maybe being involved in the Yiddish theatre there, and their son growing up in that, and that's sort of Max. And the big difference really, I think, is that Tevye in Fiddler is a generation of sort of poverty-stricken, well, sort of what my great-grandparents were really, peasants who are people sort of the land who are just about trying to make it work and have that very sort of Eastern European sensibility, which is sort of a downtrodden feeling. Whereas America at this time, certainly the Jewish American immigrant experience is sort of so front-footed. It's about opportunity and it's about let's make it work. It's so sort of open as opposed to sort of schlepping. So I think that's really the difference, for me, one of the key differences, and I really love that about them.
What do you love about Max? Because he's described at the beginning of the show that the ensemble sing that he's that slimy, sleazy Max Bialystock. But I personally, as director, I sort of grow to love him during the show. I love his perseverance, his determination, his guile. Yes, he's corrupt, he's a con man, but he gets his
He is a theatre producer.
Yeah.
I mean, the truth is, it's all, again, they're all hustlers,
Yeah.
God bless.
Yeah.
But they are, and showbiz is hustle.
Yeah.
And
But he loves putting on a show.
he loves it.
And I love him for that.
Yeah, and I think that is one of the joyous things, truly joyous things about Mel Brooks' writing, is that every single one of these characters is 100% commitment. Mel Brooks, like or hate him, like or hate his comedy, it is 100% out there. There's nothing apologetic about him or his material. And I think that is so rare and lovely, and I think that's ultimately who Max is. There's no sort of apology about him.
Yeah.
He fesses up to, so he is a hustler and he is a bit corrupt and he is this, but we're going to put the show on and we'll make it work. And I love that about him. But we've known each other for quite some time and almost worked together a couple of times, and this was just a wonderful opportunity, I think, also because we both sort of think sort of in the same way, that it was a really exciting opportunity to not do the big glitz version of it, to go back to the sort of dirty fingernails of the original film that is grubby, and the truth of that is painful and funny and lovely, and I think that's hopefully part of what makes this version feel new and different.
Yes, the revelation for me, looking at the film and then reading the book of this, was I suddenly realised that all 6 principals have not got what they want out of life at the point where we begin the story. None of them are satisfied. And they're all desperate to better themselves in some way. And in the course of the story, they all kind of do. They all kind of get more of what they want. And it has got a happy ending in that respect. They don't get that far, but they get somewhere. Without there being any sentimental scenes or too sentimental scenes of revelation.
It's
The
also-
characters develop and evolve and grow,